Well, developing right now on the other side of the world, rebel groups have gained control of power in Syria, forcing that country's now former leader Bashar al-Assad out of the country. Assad's family has ruled Syria for more than 50 years, but the rebellion leader, who has once been an al-Qaeda supporter and considered a terrorist by our country, is promising moderation and working for all Syrians, ordering his forces to stop looting and keep civilians unharmed right now. Tonight, our country launched airstrikes in Syria to stop ISIS from going in and taking over. So how does all of this hit home? And what does it mean for the Middle East as a whole? Jessica's here to lay it out for us. Hi, Jessica.
Hey, Jana, this could impact a few countries. An international relations professor I talked with says it could inspire Iranians to oust their leader, and there's a chance this could diminish Russia's power. But to see with that Assad's out of power is a sigh of relief. No matter how far you travel, nothing quite compares to home.
What I love about my country and still love about my country is the very rich ancient history of it. You know, you walk streets that are thousands years old, buildings that are hundreds of years old.
Streets filled with Syrian stories. One Saad Bassas got to share with his kids more than a year ago, but the place he grew up in doesn't quite look the same.
It's really hard to see the place where you grew up, where you lived, you know, where you still have family, just kind of slip into very dark times of fighting.
A civil war crumbled the country into a new era. But 13 years later, the people have something to cheer about: the fall of the Assad regime.
Literally in tears. We never thought will happen maybe in our lifetime at some point.
There's no doubt in my mind that this is a Berlin Wall coming down moment. It is profoundly transformative of the entire region.
Macalester College professor Andrew Latham.
But there are so many, from an American perspective, so many bad actors that we can't be sure that it's going to work out as well as the fall of the Berlin Wall did.
He says the regime's downfall wasn't something people saw coming.
You can't tell me that there's anybody on the planet that wasn't shocked by that.
But he says the timing makes sense.
Russia and Iran were distracted. The HTS and some of the other militias were developing their military capabilities. And the Assad regime and its army was falling apart.
And with the new group in power, it's unclear what happens to the Russian bases in Syria.
They might lose their two military bases. They have a naval base and an air base, because when you're flying supplies to your various allies in Africa, you have to stop off at this base to refuel. Otherwise, you can't do it. So if they lose that base, they're going to lose Africa as well.
The future of the Middle East isn't certain, but Saad believes change is coming.
Will the regional countries leave the fate of Syria to the Syrians? Or are they going to interfere the way they interfered for the last 12 years?
Saad tells me he isn't worried about ISIS coming in back into power. He is concerned other political groups could take over. Now, Professor Latham says that the U.S. will have a choice to make about whether or not it should intervene. He says when America tried that in Afghanistan and Iraq, it didn't work out as planned.
All right. Thanks so much, Jessica. Appreciate it.